The White House still opposes a no-fly zone over Ukraine, even after President Zelensky's emotional address, calling on Joe Biden to do more.
President Biden, you are the leader of your great nation. I wish you to be the leader of the world. Being the leader of the world means to be the leader of peace.
South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace, member of the House Veteran Affairs Committee, joins us now. Congresswoman, you were in the room. You witnessed that speech firsthand. What was the mood, the reaction like among you and your colleagues?
I will tell you, when we heard his speech yesterday and saw the video, there was not a dry eye in the House. We were all in tears. It's devastating to watch. At the same time, the courage, the humility, the heroism that President Zelensky exhibited yesterday, and the heroism of the Ukrainian people for fighting back, something that Vladimir Putin was not expecting, and to see how hard they're fighting. Putin invaded Crimea and invaded Georgia. They rolled over very quickly, but Ukraine is not rolling over. And you saw President Biden authorize another $800 million going to Ukraine so they can help defend themselves against a war crime criminal, right? Vladimir Putin is murdering women and children over Ukraine.
Congresswoman, what does America need to do, and is there really bipartisan support to get it done?
There is bipartisan support, and I will say, with President Zelensky in his speech yesterday, broadening the sanctions packages, encouraging companies, United States and others abroad, doing business with Russia, that is working. And you saw companies this week and last week like Oracle and McDonald's putting a moratorium or a pause on doing business with Russia. We need to choke economically and isolate him as much as possible. And you're seeing the cracks around him, right? Yesterday, he said he was going to cleanse his country and others. It's very dangerous, but he's losing it. He's unhinged. And what the world is doing is working, but we need to do more of that. We also need to focus on humanitarian aid. The stories we're hearing about Ukrainian families who are stranded, who are stuck, who do not have electricity or water or food. You saw people that were murdered in the streets in Ukraine yesterday for standing in line to get bread. This is obviously something that it needs to be addressed sooner rather than later.
Congresswoman, back here at home, gas prices have never been higher in the history of our country. And there is a report in Politico that says progressive Democrats are planning to publicly urge President Biden to ban oil drilling on federal lands at this time. Is the president going to cave to this? And if so, what happens?
God, I hope. We need to become net exporters and increase our production here at home in the U.S. until we're all green, and we will eventually get there. But it's not going to be overnight, and this is not the time to politicize this sort of thing. We need to increase our production here at home. We need to increase our oil and gas imports from from Canada, excuse me, not Russia, and not Venezuela, not Iran, or anyone else. But we have the opportunity to do that and help our allies. For instance, in the state of New York, there's enough natural gas to provide energy to Europe, all of Europe, for 150 years. And I will tell you, I'm going to go to Poland this weekend with the Oversight Committee and talk to our colleagues in Warsaw, and we'll be on the border of Ukraine to learn as much as we can about what's going on all around the world, because the gas prices are being affected everywhere, not just the United States, but how can we work together to improve that situation here at home and around the world?
Yeah, if we can be an energy supplier for Europe as opposed to Russia or Venezuela, it would be good for our country and Europe as well. Congresswoman Mace, safe travels, and thank you so much for joining us.